This weekend, Venom: The Last Dance drops in theaters. I haven't been able to see it yet. I was in San Francisco the last 2 days at Skywalker Ranch and Lucasfilm, learning how the movie Ultraman Rising was made from the filmmakers. It's actually really good. Even if you're new to the franchise, it's worth checking out. But that meant I missed the press screening for Venom: The Last Dance. I can't share my thoughts on it until I see it tomorrow night, but let's talk about the early reviews. Hi, my name is Sean, and I love to talk about movies and TV way too much. With that in mind, go ahead and join me down below in the comment section. Let me know your excitement level for Venom: The Last Dance, and let me know, have the early reactions and reviews that have been dropping the last little bit shifted your excitement level? Have they made you more excited, less excited, or you don't care at all because critics don't understand this franchise? With all that said, as of this moment, the embargo for the movie has lifted. Scores are being plunked into Rotten Tomatoes, but their website's not very good. And so even though the embargo lifted over an hour ago, it's still processing the score for it. I've seen a couple numbers. If they don't have one pop up on the website by the time I'm done filming this, I'll tell you the two numbers that I've seen at the end of this. But here's what other people have been saying about the movie. Leo! So, I actually enjoyed myself. It's entertaining with some fun jokes. The romance between Eddie and Venom is peak here. Rhys Ifans and Juno Temple were great additions, but phew! The script is horrible, and the B-plot drags at times. This will be a recurring theme throughout the reactions to the movie. Fun and bad. Eddie and Venom are good. The plot is a mess. You'll just keep seeing that from everyone. Zach Pope, another friend of the channel, feels like the worst of the franchise, but at the same time, the best. It's wild, it's messy, it's meandering, sometimes it's even boring, but Venom horse lives up to the hype. Eddie and Venom bromance is the savior of the trilogy. Jillian, Tom Hardy was born to be Venom. I laughed so much and cried during Venom: The Last Dance, an absurdist tale of friendship that Hardy has been so committed to over the last 7 years with self-awareness. Need an entire film just for Venom Frog. The shoe gag killed me. So that's one of the more positive ones that didn't counterbalance it with some negative. Drew Taylor, Venom: The Last Dance is the best of the Venom movies. The insanity has been ramped up significantly, but it so has the heart. It's not perfect, but it's super entertaining. There's a giant monster that chews up people and sprays blood out the back end of its head. It's pretty nuts. Okie dokie. 3C, another friend of the channel, Venom: The Last Dance is not a good movie, but it sure is entertaining at times. I wanted to enjoy it more than I did, but this film is a mess. Still, the humor, Eddie Venom dynamic, and wild final battle will be enough of a good time for most. Jones Vibes, a friend here in Austin, fellow critic here in Austin. Venom: The Last Dance is easily my favorite of the trilogy. It might not be a huge step up from the last two, but it totally captures the vibe of the first one. Eddie and Venom are an iconic duo at this point, and the mix of humor and heart really hits. Sean O'Connell, great name. I think Venom: The Last Dance is the best of the three, while still being incredibly bad. It's bizarre and watchable because it's willing to try anything. Symbiote fish? Sure. Miss Chen dance sequence? Why not? I laughed a few times, but this trilogy accomplished very little. Sigh. Andre, well, it's official. Venom: The Last Dance will be your favorite entry of the trilogy. Great action set pieces, and Eddie Venom are the best they've ever been. We are Venom: One Last Dance. Guy at the Movies, another friend of the channel. Venom: The Last Dance sends off the trilogy out with a whimper, a messy mashup of dull ideas in a terrible script. Chiwetel Ejiofor is the only one who came to play a wasted character in the end, a far cry from the dumb fun of the first. Sony's Marvel Universe is a mess. Chris, Venom: The Last Dance is pretty crazy. It's a wildly comedic and action-packed road trip film filled with symbiotic chaos you want. Sure, it might fall into the usual superhero flick pitfalls. Fortunately, Tom Hardy is still so funny, plus there's some pretty hilarious bits. Joseph Deckelmeyer, one of the people I spent the last 2 days with at Lucasfilm and Skywalker Ranch. Venom: The Last Dance takes you on a wild and exhilarating journey from start to finish. It's a fun popcorn movie that reminds me of the early 2000 comic book movies. The action is great and is a tribute to action films from the 80s. There's a lot of funny moments. There are plot holes and some issues with story. Yes. It's fun also. Yes. One more I'll throw up here because I'm seeing it on here. Jeremy Johns. This movie could properly be titled Venom Things Happen. So there you have it. Those are the first reactions to the movie. And I think they are 100% fully in alignment with the reaction to the previous two movies in this franchise. They're goofy, they're wacky, they're unafraid to go wild and crazy, therefore they're fun. Don't have great scripts, the plots are kind of all over the place, but at the core is Eddie and Venom, and Eddie and Venom are a lot of fun to watch. All right, I'm double checking on Rotten Tomatoes, and they don't have an official score popping up, but I've seen two numbers reported in trying to do all the research on this. One account reported that they saw a 37% Rotten Tomatoes score. When I looked on their website, one time a score of 40% popped up. And so I would guess it's going to be probably 30 to 50% range is where this movie's going to end up. But at this moment, there is not a score reported. And to put that in comparison, the first Venom has a 30% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the second Venom has a 57% on Rotten Tomatoes. If I were to do my own little analysis of what to make of these numbers, I think a lot of people watched the first movie and went, oh, that's a mess. And then with time, this was my experience. This movie's a mess. With time, though, you're like, I actually really enjoyed Eddie and Venom. So I dug the movie. I liked it. And then by the time the second one came out, it was more of that dynamic. Same mess as the first movie, but you like that dynamic, so critics were a little bit more forgiving because they become more fond of those characters. But that means they went into the third movie expecting something better than either one of these two movies have ever been. And it's, once again, messy fun. And thus the scores kind of looks like it'll be somewhere between the scores of the first two films, but they all seem like they're right in alignment with each other. If you liked the dumb fun of the first one, you'll probably have some dumb fun with this movie. But once again, you're not going to get a great plot out of this movie, but we don't expect that at this point in time. Yeah, see, every time I look at the webpage, because it takes their website forever to process things. Sometimes I look at it, it says no reviews are counted. Other times it says there's 2 reviews counted. Other times it says there's 7 reviews counted. You can scroll down to the critic reviews and there's 24 reviews counted. So depending on when you click on it, there's different numbers. Quick point of reference. Between now and the cut that just happened, I went to pick up my son and his friend from school, drove back, dropped his friend off at his house, came back home. 45 minutes have passed, and they still haven't been able to calculate the Rotten Tomatoes score, and it's still given wacky different numbers. 0, 2, 7, 24, no score. 20 more minutes have passed. I'm in the middle of editing, and the score has been revealed, and it is one of the two numbers I said. It is 40% from 57 reviews. So higher than the first film, significantly lower than the second film. This falls right in line with what I was expecting, what I predicted, and I stand by what I said an hour ago when I was filming. Let me know your expectations down below, and keep talking movies and TV too much. Bye-bye.